Alright guys, it's the 5-time regional Alaskan champion here, known as the Alaskan Warrior, here with the #1 of all-time Jacksonville champion for Cross Worlds and release tournaments. Got all this nice layout here with his shop championship from last Saturday, winning deck, Malcolm, for Team No Negates.
I don't feel so good.
Here we go, take it away. Go ahead, Malcolm. Show us that deck.
Alright, so basically it's SS3. Some of the basics, it's mid-range. Some of the drops aren't very heavy until the later turns. So SS3 is the leader, of course. And then for some of our standard staples that every SS3 leader runs is 4 Sensu beams. That's just kind of standard. It extends your plays, it really defends yourself. If they attack with leader, you can punish them with Sensu and just gets over. 4 Piccolos, self-explanatory, need your 10K. We don't run Kibito Kai because we want to see our draws every turn. Gohan. This is a card I added actually last minute for some slots. I was playing around with the deck and this is a really good addition because you can summon it and get the 10K and go over and attack, and then most of the time they want to attack this card to get rid of it so you don't attack with it next turn. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1. And then I run the Zeno engine, so Zeno, you're going to see chain attack later on in the deck, but Zeno of course. And that's it for the blue cards. For the red cards, for the new cards, we run the 1-drop Trunks. There's no flute in this deck because we run Zeno instead. So the 1-drop Trunks, you can double it up with double strike Champa. It's really good when they're unawakened. Digging Deep Vegeta. When we're going first, we really have no turn 1 play. So when we charge double anything, like it can be double blue, we just charge a red next turn, and he's 1 red specific. So when you go turn 2, you can just be like Digging Deep Vegeta, take 2 life, and you're awakened, and you untap 3, and you're just fine for the rest of the game. And then for the bomb of the deck, basically it is the Saiyan Onslaught Kefla. You drop this turn 5 and just start drawing cards, getting extra advantage, and this nets you card advantage. You don't have to worry about Union Batara and all that stuff. People are like, oh, it's bad because you can't Union Batara.
People sleeping on that card, huh?
Yeah, people are really sleeping on this card. Like, just the 5-drop alone, you gain 30K, and then you go to 35, and it's 2 swings. And if you can put a double strike Champa on that, it's really good.
That's spiciness.
And then, of course, the Kabas to finish off our 1-drops. That's for the older cards, and then only 2 double strike Champas. I wanted to run 4, but I couldn't find enough room in the main to run all 4, so I just run 2. A lot of our cards already have double strike in the deck, or pseudo double strike, like Kefla has dual attack, so you don't really need to worry about taking 2 life at one time. The only thing we put double strike on in this entire deck is the 1-drop Trunks. So you swing with the 1-drop Trunks, you boost it to 15, and you put the double strike Chomp on top of it. It goes straight to 25K. So unawakened, that's like the perfect number to crit them down from 5 to 3. And then our Unbreakables, staples in every SS3 deck. Chain attack, staples if you're running Zeno. We're not running Pan because I didn't have enough targets for the double strike. And then 4 topos standard in every SS3 deck that's running red. And then for the other bomb that's in red that we already had before was 4 hits. Now 4 hits is mostly standard, but I run it because if you go into the 1-drop Trunks and you crit them really early game, and they normally kill this, and then turn 3 you drop the Digging Deep Vegeta and you start clearing their battle cards, and then turn 4 you're like they're really afraid of Zeno, and you're like hit, show me your hand, win the game. If you don't win the game, then you take their combo pieces. So you take their food, you take their overall Mira, you take their 7-drop Boo that they need to EX evolve with, you take their Gokus, you take whatever they need to win next turn, so you can stall and just survive. And then once you turn 5 to turn 4 to turn 5, you basically win the game when you drop Kefla.
So tell us about some of your matchups on Saturday.
My first matchup was SS3 Midrange. He was playing the same kind of deck I was, but he wasn't running Kefla. My game 2 was SS4 Lineage with the SCR. My game 3 was SS3 Midrange with like Kefla and stuff like that. Kind of like my deck, but not exactly. And then my 4th matchup was SS4 Lineage with SCR. And my 5th matchup that I actually lost was SS3 Flute, just Storm with the 7-drop Goku SS4 that can, if you get to a certain amount of points, you can't negate it. And that's what I was at 2, and he swung. He had like 20k already on it from storming in the pan with Flute, and I couldn't get over it.
So what are some things that you would change about the deck? Like you said beforehand that you would like to run 4 Destruction Champas. You don't know if that's needed.
Well, the thing I've been thinking about running differently is actually taking out the Chain Attack Zeno combo, because it's really nice to have it if they're running anything old like Ginyu or anything to do with veggies that you need to get rid of, or if they're running a very aggro heavy deck. But what I've been noticing is my Digging Deeps actually act as my pseudo board removal, because for anyone that doesn't know it, when you attack with it, and you can take 1 or 2 life. So if you're at 5, you take 1. If you're at 6, you take 2, and he restands and gains 5k. So he's like a 20k pseudo topo. So you just swing, bring him back to active mode. You just keep killing their little guys. In this deck, we trade into everything that's 15k or less. Anything that's 15k or more, we don't trade into, and we just go for face.
Is there any advice you have for newbies that want to try to pilot this deck? Any
advice I have, there's a lot of I take life cards in this deck, so I can say be very careful. If I can say anything, I would say the Intensifying Power Trunks is for early game, and if you can throw a Champa on top of it, great, but don't really worry about that. Kaba is for late game, so just worry about dropping him when they're at 2 or at 3, and you want to swing with Leader to get them down to 2 and just combo a lot, and then go into your Kaba. And then you're Digging Deep. He's not really for an aggro type of matchup, he's more for just clearing board. So be very careful in this deck. There's 12 life takers in this deck total, and we only start at 6 life. So you really have to manage which life that you take.
So you got it, guys. Malcolm, you know, released and store championship. Man keeps on winning every single one of these certificates. There's not enough wall space for the future here. So take that into consideration, Team No Negates. See you guys later.